Spoiler alert. I think he's going to win Coach of the Year, maybe even in boxing as well. Let's talk to Eric Nicksick, the head man over at Extreme Couture. There he is. Big Eric in the house. Hello, Eric. How are you?
Doing well, brother. Good to see you again.
Could you chill out on all these like history-making moments? I mean, geez, this is like a once-a-month occurrence for you now. This is unbelievable stuff. What a life you're living right now. This is nuts.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. I got some of the best athletes in the world that I get to work with, and they make me look good. So I couldn't be happier for them all.
So now you're so big time, you're doing that turkey hair thing too, right? I see you with the short
Bro,
hair.
I got it.
Look at
Yeah,
you,
I got
man.
it.
Wow. How is it?
So funny. It was cool, man. Like it was a funny story because so they hit me up like about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So I said to Francis, I was like, hey, let's go to Turkey together, because he had that little spot in his head he didn't like, and he's like ripping on me. He's like, bro, I'm not going to Turkey. Why would I travel all the way to Turkey? I'll just stay in the States and do it. Yeah, giving me all this shit. And then I look like a month later, the guy went without me. He went and got it done. So I was like, bro, you're supposed to be going with me, So yeah, it all worked out because I was heading that side of the world anyway. So I popped down there and just got a little bit of, a little tread on the tires, if you will.
I love it. It was great to see you walk out there with the fresh cut on Saturday. So come on, be honest with me. Really, when this was all, announced and in the works and all that stuff, did you think this could happen? Did this play out like you thought, or did Francis exceed your expectations?
I mean, we know the author to the book, man. Like, there's nothing that surprises me anymore when it comes to Francis. So when this opportunity jumped on our lap, yes, of course, we knew it was going to be a tough mountain to climb. But I felt like we had the right team, the right ideas, the right athlete, to possibly shock the world. And man, we live in this eyesight versus mindsight. We see what we see, and that's what we believe, but we think of things in a different, higher capacity. And I think that's what always makes our team so successful, is that we see it, we believe it, and then we go out and achieve it.
Game planning, prepping, training, coaching for a boxing match as opposed to MMA. Were there any stark differences for you?
Yeah, there was quite a few. And this was such a fun camp for me because, we sat down in July. It was the five of us, Markel, myself, Dewey, Randy, and Francis. And we just started laying out the ideas and the thoughts and how we wanted to approach this camp. And I said right away, I know Francis wanted to get like a true boxing coach. And my thoughts were, I didn't think it was a great idea to go into like this pure boxing camp and try to outbox Tyson Fury. And you and I talked about this quite a bit. And I mean, people, I don't think really understood my point. It was like, we're not going to beat Tyson Fury on like pure style of boxing. We have to kind of equate the things that we already do really well in MMA and try to cross it over and be erratic and be unorthodox, but also, you see the stance switches and things that we do really well that maybe a conventional boxer might not be accustomed to. So bringing in a traditional boxing coach might disrupt some of those things. And, I said right away, I think Dewey's our guy. I think we lean heavy on Dewey, and he has the crossover between boxing, the kickboxing, and the MMA. And I said, I think we just lean heavy on what Dewey already has. And not only that, like you and I know, Francis has a trust factor with a lot of us, and bringing a new energy in the room and a new cadence and a new coach and a new this and new that might not be the best idea. And, Francis kind of listened, he stuck to it. And then he brought John Momba in, who I think really fit the team and cleaned up a lot of his boxing, but also kept the same ideologies that we had in this like MMA field that we were trying to accomplish when it came to the boxing side of things. So it was very different in a lot of ways, because everything was just predicated around Francis and not like a huge team. And man, I loved it. Like, I love the energy. I love the vibe. It reminded me of the COVID era, when it was just like the small group of us that were all training, and we were very concise to our game plan and our what we were trying to accomplish rather than a team element.
You guys have incredible, I don't know if patience is the word, but just like poise, because you have to listen to everyone weigh in on the decisions that you guys make from a business standpoint, from a training set. Like, everyone has an opinion on Francis, especially over the past year. And I would see people break down his like open workout videos and be like this, I see people like doing breakdowns of this. And so when you see people saying like, is he trolling? Is he that bad? Is he this and that? What are you thinking when you're seeing people on the internet break down his open workouts and whatever the stuff is that we get to see?
usually I'll just gloss over one or two things, and honestly, just if you sit and bask in that, it just makes you mad. But you can read it once or twice, and you know what? I just shut it off. I don't even listen. And I would tell people this, like, try to hold pads for Francis Ngannou and not like get your arms broke or look like you're getting hit by a freaking truck. It's hard, man. And it's hard to hold pads for the guy and look especially clean. And, you know, a lot of those things, I think that when people see like Floyd Mayweather hit pads and that's what they expect out of boxing. And, you know, Dewey and Francis and myself, we've been hitting pads for over the last 5-6 years together. Dewey even longer. So we have a great rapport and a great synergy when it comes to our pad holding and stuff. So when people want to critique it and everything else, I mean, to be honest with you, they don't know what we're trying to accomplish or what we're looking at. We weren't trolling anybody, but dude, it's hard to get hit by a truck every day. It's not easy. You know, you get the crap beat out of you. So, you know, it is what it is.
Okay. So we get to the fight, and at what point does, like, obviously you're nervous, right? Obviously there's anxiety. This is all like a whole new world. When does the confidence start to grow? When do you start telling yourself like, holy shit, this is actually going to work out. We're doing well.
I wasn't nervous at all.
You weren't nervous? Come on.
Nah,
not really?
I promise, bro. I wouldn't lie to you, man.
How is that possible?
I mean, I don't know. Like, especially as of late, I really, I don't want to have nerves coming off of me and then my fighter feel it. Dude, I just plug my headphones on and listen to like some Motown music, and I'm pretty chill. And, wow. You know, I don't know, man. Like I love it's the best part of my job is that, you know, and of course you get to walk out and I'm just looking around thinking to myself like, man, I can't wait to tell my kids about this or my grandkids one day. Like, it's the best job in the world. So, you know, take time and relish in it. You know, it's an opportunity that a lot of people don't ever get to have. So, you know, nerves weren't really there, to be honest with you. I was just excited.
Incredible. So what are you thinking in the first 3 rounds leading up to the knockdown? Are you loving what you're seeing? Are you surprised by anything that Tyson isn't doing? Are you surprised by how much success Francis is having? What are you seeing?
Just starting to break him down, just trying to collect data. First round, Tyson Fury was jabbing our rear hand just to occupy, which is something that I thought we would see. He was just going to try to nullify Francis's right hand, keep it busy, keep it active. He wasn't really jabbing Francis's face. He was just jabbing his rear hand, you know? So I was like, hey, we have our whole split series. So catch and split, catch a jab, throw a jab, split it off of it, come over top of it. So we made the adjustments going into round 2. I think that's when we saw Tyson switch to southpaw. And then that's when in camp that happened quite a bit. We were going with a couple of sparring partners. They had switched southpaw. We'd mirror it. We'd just go right in our southpaw series. We saw Francis switching to southpaw. I think Francis did have a little bit of trouble in a southpaw versus southpaw with some of his defensive holes. But when Francis was southpaw versus orthodox out of the open stance, dude, that's a whole series we run off that. And we started lacing that left hand, occupy series, reload series, step over series. You know, everything that we wanted out of the southpaw stance was nice. And I think Tyson Fury kind of got stuck in the mud when Francis was southpaw. You know, I think Francis has a better cross out of southpaw than he does out of orthodox, to be honest with you.
Wow. And that is something that is not seen often in MMA. You see people switching stances freely, but in boxing, people are a little bit more conventional in that regard. One thing that really impressed me about Francis was, as you know, I don't have to tell you, Tyson likes to feint a lot, and he loves to move. And Francis wasn't biting on any of them. Is that something you specifically worked on?
That was a lot of Dewey. Like Dewey was telling him that, like he called him snake charmer. You know, same thing that we call Izzy. Like, you know, the feint game's going to snake charm you. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into the feints. Like, don't even buy into it. Just throw off of them. You know, try to disrupt his rhythm. And I think that's what Francis did really well. And, you know, right away, I think the first 2 rounds, like, we felt really comfortable. And then there was the knockdown, you know, obviously in the third. And then, you know, I yelled at Francis because, you know, he was dancing over him, and I was like, get away. Like, we got to get the count going, bro.
Right.
And then he was in the corner, and I looked over and I was like, hey, he's no boogeyman, is he, Bubba? And he's like, nope, he ain't no boogeyman. So I was like, we're in this fight, bro. Like, let's get after this dude and let's have some fun.
The commentary was saying that he was headhunting a little bit after the knockdown. Do you feel like he was trying to go for the finish a little bit too much in those, like, you know, 4th and 5th rounds?
Honestly, I would have to go back and watch it. But yes, in the fight, that was something that Dewey and I expressed after the 3rd round that, hey, I think Tyson's ego is going to try to come out and get that round back. He might come out with a little bit more urgency. So let's play back a little bit more and stay behind our jab and actually try to outbox him more this round and stay defensive. But then I do know, like, Francis was swinging a little bit out of his shoes. And a lot of the the combinations were predicated off of our jab to the body and our body work, like small, lesser target, because Tyson leans so far out of the way, but his chest and body will always be there. So a lot of our rhythm of our beginning of our combinations were starting off to the chest and body. And that was something Dewey was expressing to him. Was, hey, man, let's get back to our game, get back to how we knocked this guy down was because, we stay within our game. So let's not get overzealous on trying to knock this dude out and get back to our game plan.
I scored it for Francis. I think Francis won the match, the fight, the night, everything. Blown away by what he did. If there's one thing that I wish that could have happened, just to put the exclamation point in, there would be no robbery or whatever you want to call it, is maybe a little bit more activity in the 9th and 10th. Do you wish the same as well?
Couldn't agree more. Something we said in the stool. I know I said it, and I know Dewey said it. I don't remember which round it was, but I alluded to his cardio. I was like, hey man, you're in really good shape, and I really want to try to get on the gas pedal, especially in the last minute of the round. I said, we're having a lot more success when we're getting them funneled into the turnbuckles. So if you want to kind of bide your time and funnel him over there with your footwork, and just, we don't have to go full bore and move him over there, but you can just move him over there with your jab. But once we get him into those corner posts, let's really start exploiting it. And because optics, right? Optics look good when he's over there. We're banging his body. He's leaning against the ropes, and we're throwing heavy shots at him. And let's try to get that out of us in the last minute of the round to really put a stamp on the end of these rounds. And then that really happened in my opinion, round 9 and round 10, because going in around 10, he was like, we got him hyped. We're like, yo, bro, like, we're right there. We're going to win this goddamn fight. And he jumped off that stool and started bouncing, and dude, his energy levels were through the roof. And he even said it himself on the stool. He's like, I don't want to leave anything behind. I'm like, dude, you can go out and bang this dude up for the next 3 minutes. And he's like, yeah, let's go. I'm going to go hard this next 3 minutes. So I think that over time, that was the first thing that, like, looking back at, we can be better at is how do we, manage our energy throughout the rest of the fight, like how do we exploit the first couple minutes and then seal the rounds up as we go.
Did you guys work on the Superman punch, or did he pull that out of his hat?
Nah, dude, that was all Dewey and him. Like we were coming up with all kinds of stuff, like all camp, like what can we do? What's legal? What's not legal? We got to stay on one foot. And then him and Dewey were hitting the Superman punch. Like after every practice, we were just throwing the lead uppercut, Superman punch, lead uppercut, Superman punch. So we're in the back of the house doing the warm up. And then, like, right at the end, Dewey looks over at Izzy. He's like, Izzy, check this out. And Francis just freaking wham, smokes it. Izzy starts grabbing the pillows and throwing the pillows off the couch, jumping around. Like, it was hype, bro. It was cool. So yeah, that was something that, like, they were working on for a long time, and we wanted to try to land it. Mostly when we got Tyson backed up to the corner posts where he couldn't really move out of it. And that's where you saw Francis throw it, was right at the end of the round, of round 10.
Obviously, you're predominantly in the MMA world. Can you rate Tyson's elbows? Can you rate his elbow game for me?
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad, actually. Rolled the knuckle over, had the elbow come right down on the forehead. Yo,
that landed clean. That landed clean, huh?
Clean, bro.
Holy
our
crap.
boy ate it.
Yes,
he ate it.
that to me told me, like, he was a little bit shook. He didn't really know what to do at that point, right? Like, it seemed like Tyson was like shocked by everything. Forget the knockdown, just like what he was seeing and what he was having to deal with.
I'd imagine so. I mean, right away, I think he knew he was in a fight, especially even after the first, second round, his demeanor changed immensely. And then obviously getting knocked down, and then his game plan changed. He won the boxing match. We won the fight. He went right into boxing mode. We're just going to try to just outpoint and steal rounds away. And, for us as a coaching staff, that's where we have to be better at. We have to understand, the scoring of boxing. So it is what it is. I mean, do I feel like it was a robbery? No. Do I feel like we won? Yeah, I do. But at the end of the day, we go back to the drawing board. We're better for the next time out.
Obviously, you want the W, but are you content? Like, can you walk away happy and proud? Obviously with the performance, but like with the moral victory, are you okay with that? Because, I have had some people saying, like, hey man, you're celebrating. Like, he did lose. There is an L on his record. So how do you process it?
Yeah, I'm more on, like, the side of celebration. Like, I couldn't be more happy for our guy and our team. Everybody, to be honest with you, like, the workload that was put in and the effort that was put forth in this whole entire camp, and even prior to that, it is an L on the record that does, like, sting just a little bit, but we still won the night, and now, he writes the rules, man. Like it's everything runs through Francis now. So we're the A side when it comes to the next negotiation.
Unbelievable. What would you like to see him do? If he asked you, what would be your vote? You want me to tell you what
I mean,
Markel said when I asked him this question?
yeah. Let me hear.
Okay, Markel said he likes the idea of the mixed rules fight against Deontay Wilder. That was his vote. I said I like the idea of the boxing match against Joshua or Wilder. He also said he really liked the Joshua fight too. But if my memory serves me correct, that was his vote. So what about you?
Yeah, I'm in for and any of those, to be honest with you. I think it'd be kind of fun to go, and I mean, Wilder jumps into MMA, it's gonna be bad for him. It's gonna be real bad for him. That was the first thing I said when I saw Tyson Fury. I was like, dude, you're built like Gru. Like you got these little baby skinny legs, bro. Chop that dude in half. So just a couple leg kicks and a takedown. It's gonna be a quick night. So yeah, if these guys want to start crossing over to MMA, it does us the favor. But in a perfect world for me, man, like I still want that John Jones fight.
You still want that, huh?
John Jones fight.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Why that one?
I mean, just because, man, I want to compete against the best, and I think John is the best, and I don't want any more guesses on who's the baddest man on the planet. Let's run it. Let's do it. And you can make that happen. Both sides can make that happen if they really wanted to. Set your egos aside. Let's get Allegiant Stadium. Let's get what the fans want, and let's get John and Francis, and let's see who the baddest man on the planet is. And I want to compete against the best, man. I've said that time and time again. This is no disrespect to John. I think he's the best to ever do it, but I want that opportunity to coach against him, and I want that opportunity to go beat the guy.
Do you think it could happen? Obviously, John is injured, but let's say next summer. Do you really think the UFC would be open to that?
I mean, I look at it like this. It's like if you have Otani and you let him walk for free, right? Mm-hmm. You don't get anything out of it. They didn't get anything in back from letting the baddest man on the planet walk away. Nothing, right? They didn't go put on a super fight. They didn't do anything. They just let him walk for free. And I think that now, like, you can kind of right that wrong and give yourself the opportunity to go and cross promote, right? Do a PFL UFC and let's put the baddest man on the planet up against the other one, right? And let's figure this out. Let's do it at Allegiant Stadium. Let's sell the place out. Let's sell all these pay-per-view buys. Everybody wins at the end of the day, right? Everybody wins. Mm-hmm. The fans win. The fighters win. The promoters win. And, possibly even the UFC, because, look at it this way. Like Francis, obviously, is kind of making them eat their words. He walked away for free and he's going out and doing his thing. But at the end of the day, that's what we wanted, man. We wanted to be able to box and do it under the Zuffa banner and co-promote. So I think anything's possible. I think that Dana and the UFC are smart businessmen. And if the business is right, the money's right, the logistics are right, I think you set your ego aside, make it happen.
Do you think we ever see Fury and Ngannou too?
I do. I actually do, man. I think because of the showing that we had, I would venture to guess that Tyson wants to get that one back and show that he's a better boxer than what he is. And, maybe being in there with Francis and understanding the pace and the rhythm and the style of fighter that he is, threw him for a loop. And now that he's been in there with him for what, 30 minutes now, maybe he wants another shot at that. And, but shit, that's another option for us as well.
Regardless of Jones, mixed rule, we are going to see Francis box again, right? In a traditional Queensberry rules boxing, we have to continue on this path, right? This is too fascinating of a story.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that just with his last showing and now with the money that he can generate for future boxing endeavors, it would make no sense for him not to, right? I wouldn't have a problem with him if he just decided to box the rest of his career, if that's what he decided to do. But I know that he's still in love with MMA, misses the sport, misses his growth. We accomplished a lot of things, and we're just barely scratching the surface as far as his skill set goes when it comes to MMA. So, he's a very scary man when it comes to what he can accomplish in his athletic career. So, hopefully we get back to the MMA side of things quick too.
It's just a shame that Anthony Joshua would beat him in 3 rounds. That's what Eddie Hearn said. He said he would smoke him.
No, I heard that.
It's just a shame, right?
Hey, it is what it is, man.
They're still doubting him.
I love it. Keep it up. I keep it up.
And now you've got an influx of guys who want to go and box as well. Sean Strickland wants to box too. I saw that. Do you think he'd have success? I mean, we saw the Philly Shell in Australia.
Oh yeah.
How do you think Sean would do?
I think he'd do great. to be honest with you, I mean, that's he goes and box spars once a week and spars with like high level boxers once a week and does great with them. So I actually think he would cross over really well, to be honest with you. And that was the first thing I wrote him after Francis fought. He was like, that was a robbery. I was like, hey, when are we moving over to boxing? He was like, next week, next week, bro.
When do you think we see Sean back?
I mean, Sean's back in the gym. He's training.
Okay.
He's ready for whatever that phone call happened. So I think just everything might be predicated on the promotion, and if Hamzat's the next guy in line, and then his hand injury, how long it's going to take to get him back. So it sounds like that's the matchup they're looking to make, and I'm all for it, man. I love Hamzat. It's a position that he deserves and he's earned. So unfortunately, we're all friends, but it's business. It is what it is.
I do hope that they don't keep him on the sidelines for too long to wait for Hamza. Like, there's other options. DDP obviously beat Robert Whittaker. If you had your vote, who would you like to see him fight in his first defense?
I really don't care. I think both of them are very deserving. DDP, of course, he did his job. He's been waiting for his opportunity. And then Hamzat, I don't think he looked especially great against Usman, but I give him the benefit of the doubt because, short notice fights, even for the guy who has an opponent change because your styles change, right? So sometimes those are the hardest ones to deal with is a new guy coming in that's a completely different style flip up from Usman to Paulo Costa. So he did his job. He got his win. And you can make an argument for either.
I noticed, by the way, a new addition to the wall over there. Is that Sean in Australia right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me picking up Sean right there. Yeah.
That is tremendous.
We got the one that you have on the way, and then I got you something too. I'm going to send out to you.
Oh,
I got you. Yeah. That'll be coming to you soon.
Damn. That is incredible.
Yeah, so
wow.
That was Francis's glove.
With the bag. That's incredible.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got that coming out for you.
All right. That is tremendous. Wow. What a stretch for you. In conclusion, could I just ask, are you being hit up by every fighter on the planet wanting to come train? Is it hard because if I'm a fighter, I'll be like, I want to go to this guy. I want to go to this team. I know you say it's not just you, and I love that about you, and that's what the good coaches say. But now with all this attention that you're getting, especially just the last 2 months alone, you've been getting attention for a while. It's not like you're just some new kid on the block. But is it hard? Is it hard to say no to people? Are you having to say no to people?
Yeah, I actually learned that from Markel. Like Markel would just tell me, he's like, hey man, there's a lot of power in no. Like you don't have to say yes to every interview or every this or every that. Or now anything that comes along isn't a yes for you. Like you're gonna have to say no and really manage your time. It is hard because there are a lot of people that I would love to be able to work with, but by doing so, you dilute your product and you don't have this time and energy to put 110% into each fighter. And then furthermore, you lose even more time with your family. So I just have to say no to certain people. It's not because I don't believe them or I don't want to work with them. It's just the ones that I do have that have been loyal to me. Like I don't want to take more time away from them. And I'm very happy with my roster that I have right now, and there's a couple guys that I've added on that I'm going to be working with. And then, the one guy too, that hopefully we get him back in the cage soon is Paul Felder. So, we get Felder back. There's another guy on my roster and a guy that, like I say, there's get tos and got tos. You get to coach a guy like Paul Felder, right? And I want to limit the got tos. I want to have all get tos on my roster, guys that I love to enjoy coaching and spending my time with and being around. And, you lose that time with your family, but it goes into good places. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now, Ariel. I love my position that I'm in. And, but moreover, I certainly value the time that I have with my family.
Yeah. Wow. Paul Felder. So he's going to be full time with you?
Yeah, I think so. So he's gonna do most of his stuff out in Philly. But hopefully when he starts camp, he's gonna be out here a lot more, and then kind of do a little bit on and off out in Philly. So that's the plan, and hopefully we get him back soon. But man, he's been working hard. He's been loving training. He's been training with Coach John out there in Philly, and cross training out here with us at Extreme.
That's incredible, and maybe we see him back UFC 300, maybe against a Jim Miller or something like that. That would be a lot of fun. What was it like for you to be there on Saturday? And it's not just the boxing royalty, but there was MMA royalty, including Randy Couture there, and guys like Conor McGregor and guys like Junior Dos Santos. And I mean, it was just like a freaking who's who. Surreal to watch. To be in the middle of all of that, giving your story and how far you've come, what was that like?
Man, it was so cool. Like I had this like total fanboy moment. Lennox Lewis came up and said hi, shook my hand, and I just have always been a huge fan of Lennox Lewis. I think he's the best heavyweight to ever do it. I damn near was fighting back tears because Lennox was like, "Hey man, it's great to meet you." I was like, "Holy shit, it's Lennox Lewis." And he's like, "Next time you guys have a boxing match, I'd love to be involved." And I'm like, Randy's standing next to me, and I'm like elbowing Randy. I'm like, "Bro, it's Lennox Lewis." Yeah, bro, I was blown away. They really did outdo themselves. Anywhere and everywhere you turned was a who's who of combat sports. And man, that's the future, man. Saudi's going to be the future of a lot of these combat sports, and what they've accomplished out there was unreal. They took care of everybody. The hotel was magnificent. We had our own security team. We had our own cars. They flew us all business class. I mean, just the promotion really took care of everyone. So it was an amazing time.
The way it should be, Eric, the way it should
Exactly.
be. Congratulations,
Yes,
man. Incredible to see, and congrats on all your success. We'll be talking about you very soon when we do our awards. But for now, enjoy the rest of the year. Good luck the rest of the way. You have anyone this weekend? No, hopefully you're not going to Brazil, right?
No one this weekend. I got Puna coming up December 2nd in Austin. And then I'll have Cody Garbrandt and Casey O'Neill here in December to round out the year. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward. I just got done holding pads for Puna, who I called pound for pound the hardest hitter in the gym.
Oh
That
my
dude
gosh.
can crack. Yeah, that dude can crack. So I'm excited to get him back in the cage and get back to work with him.
Always appreciate your time. I know it's a very busy schedule. So thanks so much. Congrats. Enjoy it all, and we'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure, brother. Always good talking to you.
There he is, Eric Nicksick, the head coach over at Extreme Couture. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.